Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what am I talking about getting done? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek at something. What am I getting done? I'm getting this thing done. Yeah, take a look at that. This is actually the first hard copy proof that I've gotten, and I'm going through it with a fine-tooth comb. But take a look, man. The book's real. It's looking really cool. Pay no attention to this kind of ghosted gray line. That just says not for resale on it, because this is an unpublished book, and it is a print proof of the book for me to go through with a fine-tooth comb. And that's what I'm doing. But I'm very, very excited about it, because that means this 301-day journey is actually working. In fact, tonight, if I've got this right, let's do the math here. Last night was the 19th. Tonight is the 20th. 288 with 13 days left to go. This is episode 289 with 12 days left to go. Oh my God. I'm a little bit nervous there, because 12 days is coming really, really fast. What does that 12 days mean? It means this book has to be completely finished by December 31st of 2020, because the very next day, on January 1st of 2021, I'm uploading the press-ready PDF files to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where it will be published and will be buyable by people such as yourself. And I'm trying to make this as good as I can possibly make it, and believe me, it's getting scary. Really, really scary. In fact, I've been going through the book today, and I haven't gotten very far into it, maybe 20 pages into it, but I'm looking for stuff, and you can see some marks on the pages of things I have to correct. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight and for the rest of the week, and for the next 12 days as I get this thing ready to go. So right now I'm trying to get Word to open up, because I am using Word to do this finished carpentry on the book. And first thing I'm going to do is make sure that stuff like this is actually 100% black type, because it's coming off a little bit ghosty gray inside the book. So I'm going through the book. Hold on. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going through the book a little bit at a time, and so what I was just doing was checking this to make sure it is 100% black. Because here, if you look at this, watch what happens. Black, text 1, black. If you go down here and it looks 100% black, no, it's actually 95% black. And then over here, light gray background to darker 90%. So if you want to make sure that you've got blackety black, black, black type, you had better make sure that it's right. You're hitting the right color. In fact, I want to go to more colors and see what that allows me to do. It allows me to pick licorice. Okay, that's what I want. I want licorice. So this stuff will print as 100% black. So to give it that nice rich blackness on the page. Next, I'm going through and I'm looking at things like pagination. And pagination is the paging of the book. So this is a right reading page. This is a left reading page. And Word doesn't really help you out, because it's reversed. This should be a right reading page, meaning it's the right side page of the book. And this is the left side page of the book. Yeah, it's annoying as hell, believe me. But I've gone through this, and I'm going to go through this page by page. And so that's left, right, or left, right, left, blank. That's correct. Then I'll have 2 pages of blurb copy. So blurb page 1, blurb page 2. But this is a little bit out of line, because I've been adding blurbs. I've been getting some blurbs in from people, which is really great. And I've been adding them, plugging them in. And so that's right and left. Then I have a blank page, which would be the left page, because I want the dedication page to be a right page. Then I've got table of contents left and right, which is correct. I've got a forward, which I'm hoping someone's going to write for me, but I'm getting a little nervous about that. And actually, I think what I want to do is make this a, hold on. Make this a new page so that it will be a right reading page. And then I'll want to do the next page like that too. So right reading page into the introduction, which is going to mess up my page count some, but I anticipate a little bit of movement in there, and it's not going to be a big problem. All right, so I've got some actual changes here to the copy. So write some stuff except me. So this was, yeah, that needs a new paragraph. Take out a clause that is just not needed and kind of messed up the sentence. To the grave, it's this. It is this. Branding is all about simplicity. It's this. Come, boom. Simplicity is hard. Let's see if I can get another page in there. Gonna have to do a little bit of fakey letting. 1, 2, just take out 2 font sizes to get the page, the copy that went ragged over to the next page. Ooh, that's good. I'm glad I saw that. There we go. All right, so this will be, I want this to actually be, I'm going to put an extra page in here. What's that doing? Section next page. All right, so that'll be it'll be 2 blank pages, right? That's a left page, blank right page, blank left page. I want to copy this. And then make sure it's size and position 3 and 8.3. These are measurements I've already made on the page just to make sure that it sits exactly right there. See how nicely that is? And why do I want this page? Yeah, that should be a right read page because it's the start of a section. And then we're into left, right, etc., which is good. Well, let's make sure I made all the changes that I wanted to make in that copy. And one of the things is, it's so important to get this in proof format because what you see on the screen doesn't always translate to the page. So it's always really key to go to the written page and see how it looks. So I'm making changes based not on, well, maybe I should do this, but what it looks like on the page. So if I'm not a fiction writer, scream all the way there. Simplicity is branding is hard. And that's okay. There's a weird break in there. That's the way nonfiction works. That's the way nonfiction branding works too. That's then immediately recognizable when illuminated by even the weakest light sources. That's the way nonfiction writing works, and nonfiction branding does too. Okay. Something, I hope you get something out of it. I want a long dash. Love me my long dashes. Especially the motivation. I use the word just too much, so I can get rid of the word just and move on. Okay. So that will be a right or a left page, blank right page, blank left page, and right page. Stream scene needs flipped back. Not sure what you mean by that, Rattle Pro. Oh, I see what you mean. Thank you very much. Thanks, Rad L Pro. Nice to meet you, Rad L Pro. All right, so anyway, Rad, I'm working on the book here, right? Making the changes. I just got this today, so I'm making changes based on going through the book, and now I'm putting those changes into the actual Word document. And I'm finding some really concerning things that need corrections. Minor things like Wired Magazine and Fast Company, they both need to be italicized. But in writing this, I screwed up a major fact right here just by writing too quickly. It's not Wired Magazine that had this feature. It's Fast Company, as you can see right next to it, the image of the cover. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to increase the size of this just a little bit. Let's go to 115, see what that does. Because I want to. Let's go a little bit bigger. And then I can oh, come on. Bastage. But the headline, can I break it there? The background graphics on the cover. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly why proofing's recommended. You are not kidding. So maybe I take this back down. Yeah, let's do that. Back to 110. Get that extra space out. Yeah, that'll work. All right, looking for other changes. I have instantly and instantly twice in one sentence was instantly interesting to me, and then instantly recognizable, immediately recognizable. Down here, you can read the whole thing. All right, so this is messing with my pagination, but at www blah 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 blah. Ah, this was a tortured sentence. Small screen stardom. I can still have my assonance, but or alliteration or alliterative assonance. In this age of social media, where anyone with a selfie stick where anyone can selfie stick their way to small screen stardom, the idea of personal branding is a huge no-brainer. Yeah, right. Moving down the page. Purplish blue, comma. Purplish blue, comma, Tide inspired. Fast company immediately. Ital. Yep. But Mr. Peters. But he had stumbled, but Mr. Peters had stumbled, blah, 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 blah. Clearly does. Clearly does. Clearly can, not clearly does. Let's read that sentence aloud, shall we? The real test of the power of any idea is whether it can exist outside of a specific time, culture, or technology, and this idea clearly can. Back when Mr. Peters wrote this seminal article, blah, 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 Atlanta, Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, period. I already talked about that previously. The thing I really needed regarding, okay, let's see if this works. The only thing I really needed to wrap my head around was my deep self-loathing regarding the negative aspects of what advertising has always been accused. That it's all about getting people to buy things they don't need, and that's where the nonfiction aspect of my approach came in. Let's not coin it yet. Of my approach developed. Not came in, but began to develop. Began to develop. Luke, I used to work for a tag printer, and the only image text was proof, not what it looked like on the tag itself. Always found that odd. Oh my God, no kidding. You have to do it on the actual thing it's going to be finally done in, because it's amazing how things change from screen to printed item. Okay, marketing communications in both old school and new media. Marketing, Marcom. I'm going to say that, Marcom. Channels and communication in both old and new media forms. Marcom communications and applications are nothing more than a toolbox full of incredibly powerful. Yeah, that works. And that's what this is all about. Began to develop. But book is all about. Seriously. Oh, and my shiny object du jour. That's too cute. In this case, it was designing the book cover. Which you hold in your hands is a phrase that I've used way too many times in this book. Which you hold. Okay, we got an orphan on the end of this page before I tell you. So let's kick that over onto the next page. And get rid of it. Or actually. Come on. Weird. Before I tell you what that reasoning is, blah, blah, blah. Tell. Okay. Expect. Go of a stereotypic. Blah, blah, blah. Years I labored under that needs a 1, 2, 3, 4 copy. Shrink that up. Do poor man's letting. Again, Word is a terrible page layout program, so you have to kind of work your way around it. So letting, just drop the font down on any given line, and it'll take up space. All right. A glass half empty. A glass half empty attitude. Sooner than people will take italic and will ever give. Will take credit for your work than will ever give you. More people will take credit for your work than will ever give you credit for. All right. And that's why my picture is on the cover. Ooh, can I get this down? Or actually, I think what I need to do is get rid of that. That's why my picture is on the cover. Nanny, nanny, nanny. All right, so where did my... I gotta grab this terminal mark. Plug it in right here. Size, position. Let me complain about Microsoft Word as a page layout program one more time. I don't need to do that. I do it every night, multiple times a night. Because it's absolute garbage. All right. The birth of brand. Do I want to kick that? No, okay, that's fine. That'll be a left read. Because that's a right reading page. That'll be... Or actually, that's a left reading page. This is a right reading page. Word differentiation. And actually, this is as far as I went in the book right here, but I'll keep going by starting right here and hitting old spelling and grammar. Because again, it's funny how things can enter. So, what are you? So, comma, what are you? Yeah, let's change that. So I was wondering, how are you determining what should be a right and left reading page? I don't have a hard and fast rule on that, but if it's a major section versus one that's kind of contiguous, if it's a major shift, you know, it's like the difference between a regular line of copy and a paragraph. But in this case, it's in terms of major sections or subsections. And it's, I'll be honest, it's very capricious. It's a feeling thing because, yeah, I know, believe me, there are grammar Nazis out there and page layout Nazis out there that are pulling out their hair and, you know, putting out kill warrants for my life based on how I do stuff. But I believe that creating a book is very much like music, which is you got to play the music so that it can be enjoyable, and the flow of it, the tempo of it. You can't have hard and fast rules and then just stick to them. So, and again, this is not perfect yet, and I'll probably redecide things over and over again because I still have 12 days to mess this book up. But the way I think about it is, if it's a major shift of idea, that's when I'll kick it over to a whole new right read page with a blank page on the left. Because I want that. I always think in terms of metaphor and analogy. The analogy I'm going to use is a multi-movement symphonic work. It's all part of the same symphony, but there's a movement, and that movement comes to an end. The hands of the conductor do not come all the way down, signaling that it's the end of the movement. So it moves on to the next one, and no one applauds. And, if you've ever been to a symphony, you never applaud when you think it's done. You applaud when the conductor puts their hands all the way down. That's the signal for the symphony's over. Well, in my case here, what I'm signaling is that here's the end of a movement, and we're moving on to an entirely new movement, as opposed to here's the end of a thought, and here's a thought that's related to it. That making sense? Yeah, so proofing is another great way to see how your pages feel layout-wise while reading. Absolutely. And that, again, goes back to the book version of it, because I've been proofing this book on screen for, I don't know, the past 20 days or so. And I've been making tons of changes, but there are things that I'm seeing for the very first time in the printed version that I've never seen on screen. So once again, you got to see the performance as it's on stage. And in the case of a book, a printed book is the actual performance. You can't just rely on the fact that, well, blah, blah, blah. No, this is the stage upon which it plays or it dies. And that's why I'm going through it so carefully right now. The reason I've shifted over to using the built-in grammar and spell check tool is because tomorrow and the rest of this week and all the way till December 31st, I'll be going through the book, and I've kind of allotted myself minimum 20 pages a day, because otherwise I'm not going to get through this thing. Because right now it says down here in Word that it's 254 pages. This was 250 printed, and already I've made some pagination changes. And that's going to balloon the page count out a little bit. Not a ton. I don't think it's going to go beyond, say, 100 or 265. But we'll see, because some of the stuff I'm taking out, I'm actually making edits, and I'm removing stuff. So the net plus minus is going to be, I don't know, let's say 10 pages. Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, so where was I? To master the equipment you'll be using... Blah, 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 blah. To master the equipment, no, I don't want a comma there. Come on. Are you still working with me here? Grammar? Come on, format. Spelling and grammar, help me out here. Yeah. Grammar check always loves to bring up the comma thing, man. You are not kidding. And the whole Oxford comma thing with the series or the series comma. I love Oxford commas only when it affects what you're actually trying to say. And what do I mean by that? Well, this is in an old, there have been treaties, between nations where masses of land have been lost because of a comma. And the best way to describe it to people is that let's say you did a will as a lawyer, and you said, divide my will equally amongst Tom, Dick, and Harry. Well, that clearly makes it obvious that each one gets 33%, right? 33 and a third, however you want to do it, because it's Tom, comma, one entity, Dick, comma, one entity, and Harry, comma, one entity. Now, if you did what a lot of grammar idiots are doing nowadays, they'll say Tom, comma, Dick, and Harry. Well, that's great for Tom because now it's Tom, comma, one entity, Dick and Harry, one entity. So now Tom gets 50% of the legacy or the inheritance, and Dick and Harry get to divide the rest of the other half. See how it works? All of a sudden, Tom gets more, and Dick and Harry have to get 25% each instead of 33, 33, and 33. So my rule of thumb is always use an Oxford comma if it affects the meaning. And don't get rid of it just because someone says you should get rid of Oxford commas. I don't believe in that. Sorry. And here's the beauty of it. When you self-produce your own book, you can do it any way you want. And since that's exactly what I'm doing, I'm going to have an absolutely imperfect book that is perfectly mine. Right? Right. Let's get back to the game, shall we? All right, so where are you? All right, so I am going to hit spelling and grammar. Where'd you go, spelling and grammar? Here we are. The equipment, of course, it wants me to put a comma in there. No, I don't want a comma there. Sorry. You should keep going. Maybe it's working through the book? I don't think so. The other way you can do this is format it or highlight it all. All right, so be social. I'm going to add that because that's actually someone's business's name and it's a coining. Leadership is for leadership. You. Is that a comma? Oh, no, it's a space. Yeah, there should be a space. Oh, ignore all blurber name. These are just placeholders. That's an ad because it's a company name. So I grabbed a copy. No, so I grabbed a copy. And that's another thing I do. Again, it's very musical. And maybe this goes back to when I played a trombone. We would always mark our scores with a comma to indicate when a breath happened. It was like da 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 da. Well, I do the same thing here, which is so breath I grabbed, as opposed to so I grabbed. In this case, it's so I grabbed. So next sentence. And so, comma, I have. So I should change it there. And actually, I went through this and realized, God, I use the word so often. So often. Think Seth Godin or Guy Kawasaki. People are now more well-known. No, I don't think, well, we're now more well-known. And this is where I'm going to go to the frickin' dictionary. Because I just need a second opinion. Because you can use it as long as it's not. Yeah, commas can absolutely ruin the flow. So a well-known television personality, adjective. They're more well-known as opposed to a well-known celebrity. No, I'm keeping it well-known without a hyphen. Keep closing it. That's why it's happening. Well-known? No. Oh, two. Yeah. It's full. Give me a break. How can a dictionary file be full? It was. Ooh. In this case, it was. Ooh, nice. Caught a double word. Neither sweet. Served neither sweet nor savory. No, I don't want to change that. And so I did. And so I did. Yeah. Yeah, I bet, yeah, I can't fill the dictionary. I bet you some screwed up with the file or whatever, but it makes no sense. So, and so I did, smack dab on the cover. Next section. To master the equipment you'll be using. Next sentence. Few actually are's. That's me messing around with language. One of the problems with me writing is that I was an actor, so I learned to enjoy Shakespearean wordplay. And Shakespeare, he's one of the most prolific neologists out there, creating new words and new coinings and all that stuff. Well, if that dude can do it, so can I. Talk about fear. Talk about fear. Yeah, right. That's exactly what at-bats. Ignore. Good old American Carnival. I can't believe that flim is not a word. See, there it let me add a word to the, I don't know. I hate Microsoft Word. Always have. I've used it in my entire professional career, close to 30 years. I hate Microsoft Word. The only thing I hate more than Microsoft Word is Facebook. And this is going out on Facebook Live. So, Zuckerberg, I'm using you as much as you're using me. Just saying. By being something they can never be. By being something they can never be. And next sentence. Were you to focus solely on your experience, you might find yourself painted into an AEC corner. Period. No, I don't need a question mark there. Teach your completely true, completely you. Next sentence. How'd she do it? Next sentence. So guess what? Again, so guess what? Not so. Guess what? So guess what? Yeah, it's kind of a Midwestern thing, but the over-the-road trucker. Sentence. There's only two real differences between me as a creative and songwriter. Sentence. A very kind lady nearby, since she assumed we were a couple, since she assumed, no comma. C'est la vie, c'est la hurts. And only when I desperately needed shoes, comma, did I start. And only when I desperately needed shoes did I start shoes, comma, did I. I'm not sure about that. And only when I desperately needed shoes, comma, I think a comma might work there. And only when I desperately needed shoes did I start creating the thing I'd read about in Tom Peters' Wired Fast Company article. Ooh. See, this is why you go through here, man. Oh. That's such a dumb mistake. Yeah, exactly. Desperately needed shoes, comma, not did exactly. See, We're agreeing here, dude. Really appreciate that. Resume a brand name. Where's that? Where's the context? Damn it. Oh, a brand name. Period. Now this is me creating a series here, so that next sentence. A brand image. A brand color. Funnelize. This is me messing around with language again. Athons. Who the heck are you, Athons? Again, messing around with language. Add that. Go to. All right. Let's go to. Go to. Okay, they like the dash. It's a go-to guy. Go to me. Yeah. Go to. Go to. Did it? My go-to business-oriented meetings. Meetups. Where is it? Somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, that break, but here we go. Resume. When they call you, and only you. Brand new business. Zoom call today. That she recognizes needs. Writing this a day later. That she recognizes needs a brand from the very start. Starting up a new business. I'm gonna get. I use brand too much. Get rid of it. Don't need it. A new business. That's what I'll do. Oh yeah, yeah. The grammar checker sucks. You know, and that's the weird thing because Word has been around forever, and yet as a industrial strength writing tool, it just isn't. But that's because it's good enough for the engineers at Microsoft. And Apple Pages isn't any better, you know? But boy, Word has killed the development of the word processing market by just making it impossible to move against them in a reductio ad absurdum way. That's how you spell his name because I had it corrected by somebody. That's someone's. Sure. My point is, this guy, were he 100% true to who he actually was, or once, that's a structure I use too much. The were he, Mr. DIC, that's referring to DiCaprio. Oh my God, I avoid Google like the plague whenever possible, and yeah, I hear you though. I just wish that Apple would come out. I'm an Apple fan. Apple everything. Apple, Apple, Apple. I trust them, and I just wish they would come out with an industrial strength word processing program. Pages is, and especially one that played really, really well with Microsoft Word because everyone uses it. All right, Mr. DIC. Yeah, well, you won't go back, man. without going into detail, too much detail, my first computer was a green screen running Mac or running Microsoft MS-DOS. What was it? Version 2.0 or something like that. My first computer didn't even have a hard drive. It had 2 floppy drives. And so I know my way around. I can take them apart. I can put them together. But once I got at my first advertising job, Macintosh, I haven't touched a Word machine since. I will not go back because Microsoft does not care. Yeah, iPad Pro, good for you, man. New iMac, oh, very cool. And get a 12 Pro Max. This is the 11 Pro Max. Fantastic. You will not regret it. And if you want to sell it, it'll retain its value so you can actually get stuff back for it. Don't want to be substituting the words, but substituting the words refreshment. So yeah. Next sentence. Yeah, you aren't going to regret going to Apple. Do you have a key 3 for your personal? Yeah, this is the new one. I had the very, very first Apple Watch. They didn't even call it a Series anything. I think they call it a Series 0 now. And I only got rid of it in October because, frankly, it was my birthday and I could ask for it. And so I got it. And, oh my God, it's fantastic. It's so much faster than the old one. And yeah, I love it. But that's because I appreciate high quality stuff. Not all people do. Separate. Called something else creativity. Quickly learn that this modus operandi is called something else creativity. Yeah, that's fine. Who you are. Next sentence. Of course you have, as opposed to of course you have. Yeah, sorry, no comma. There's a reason men dueled to the death. Reason. There's a reason men. No, sorry. Of course it does, and yet so many people don't. Of course it does. The hard executional work. Okay, that needs to be a hard executional work. Where is that? See, it doesn't mark it. Dream. Is it? So what's your vision? The word dream. Having a vision is a dream is not selective authenticity. A dream is not a goal. A dream is not a goal, but it can help identify the hard, executional work. Yeah. There you go. To achieve, not an result. Where's that? Hey, change that. It's weird. So, what's your vision? So, what's your vision? So, where is that? So, what's your vision? What's your... Okay, I don't need the so. I'm going to get rid of that. What's your vision? Going up in your neck of the woods media-wise. Okay, that makes sense. Knowing who you are so you can be it. Sentence. So I know ahead of time. Okay, this is part of a transcript, so I don't want to mess with that. Actually, I could get rid of that, so. No, actually, so I know ahead of time because I've been alerted by Nickelodeon. Zoom. Next sentence. Next sentence. Let's go ahead. So, comma. Authentic self right up to the line. TMI cliff. Yeah, that's right there. Yeah, if it's a double blue line, it's like, yeah, you might want to change this. Well, I don't want to change that. I am gonna ignore this. And when about this sitting, okay, that's a part of a transcript. And so change it, go ahead. Just long enough to see that magic moment happen. Happen. It's embarrassing. It's, yeah, that's right. It is. It's embarrassing. And it's embarrassing aftermath. Ignore. So who are you? So, comma, who are you? Who are you? Yeah, that's fine. Cause that's what creatives do. Just playing around with the English language again. What's your brandle? What's your brandle? An emphatic yes. Comma. Congratulations. Next sentence. Niching down. Ignore. What's your niche? What is your niche? Let me show you my glasses. This. How can you take care of blah, 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 blah? Let me show you my glasses. So what exactly is Equinox EQ? Get rid of the so. What exactly is it? Equinox? Why is it so important to me? They're my glasses frames. These are, by the way, Equinox EQ 304s. See, for you youngins, next sentence. Makes many think that personal branding is for other people. Makes sense. Yeah, no kidding. It doesn't. But I actually appreciate the fact that it highlights all the so's. I'm starting so many sentences with so. It really gets tedious. Colbert Token, Showdown, James Franco. Did you hear that? Listen, play it. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I put this period after the colon. Ooh, just noticed this. I have been standardizing. Make that flush right. Guess I have been standardizing that. So again, doing this tends to highlight, or you tend to notice stuff you wouldn't have noticed it just by going through it over and over again. So my question for Neil was, I can save the so for that. So own it. So own it, and own it big time. Next sentence, keep it there too. Are we 100 page, 130? One part self-conscious terror and another part, yeah, I'm going to leave it like typically something along the lines of next sentence. In real life. Sentence. If you're one of the elect, comma, blessed by God. No, not elects. Yeah, this is self-edited. I hate to say this, but, you know, I've got daughters in college, so my money does not go to an editor. It goes to them. And that's why I'm giving myself so much time to do this and go through it over and over again. Because when I wrote this initially, over the past 289 days, I can't remember what I wrote at the beginning, to be honest. So that's one of the reasons to get the book too, because then I can see the literal growth of the book and the flow of the book, the narrative arc of the book. And I did a lot of careful work to make sure that the logic flow was there. But because I knew I wasn't going to have anybody to edit with or proof, and this is a little bit insane, but it's what I have to do based on my circumstances to be able to get this book out. And the beauty of it is it's 100% mine then. The flaw of it is it's 100% mine. And that's the danger. That's what the danger you're playing with when you self-produce, self-publish, self-edit, self-proofread, self-everything. And I am having some people read through the book, and they've been very helpful in identifying some what I would call them as lapses or gaps in what I've seen, like pointing out that, you do a lot of this or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be self-edited, and because I'm self-producing it. So yeah, scary, but that's why I'm getting really focused on this, because I don't want to embarrass myself finding out that one of my favorite follows. Next sentence. Well, hello, Andy. What's going on? Yeah, having beta readers is really, really helpful. It's true. Well, Andy, I'm working on getting a book done by. I'm going to actually self-publish this on January 1st of 2021 on Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, and I just got today the first proof hard copy of the book, which I'm very happy with the way it's turned out so far. But I've got a lot to do, and right now I'm just doing a simple Microsoft Word spell check, grammar check, which I've done more than one time already. But I'll continue to do it because it always finds something that I need to think about, whether it's I use the word so to start sentences too much. Yes, I do. Whether I'm putting commas in the right place, it's always going to want me to use more commas than I actually want to use. But that's what I'm doing. And so this is part of a transcript from my podcast. So yeah, I'll put a comma in there. And it kind of just got, okay, that's next sentence for sure. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you, well, you probably don't know this, but I started this journey. In fact, this is called BOOKWARD BOUND, 301 Days from I Should Really Do This to Done. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm actually writing this book, and I have been since Friday, March 6th, coming down here to my office every night to work on the book. I work during the day, have family, have dinner, all that stuff, and then come down here and work on it. Typically, I think the shortest one I've done is about 15 minutes. And the longest I've done is probably tonight at an hour, just over an hour now. But that's because it's crunch time. I've got 12 days left to get this book in shape before I upload the press-ready PDF files to Kindle Direct Publishing. And but the cool thing is, man, when you see something like this show up and it actually looks like a book, and I've done every aspect of it, including the cover design, the concepting, the editing, all that stuff. That's the beauty of what's possible now. Back in the day, this was impossible for you to do yourself. Back in the day, you would have had to take, like if you worked with a printing company, even if you were going to self-produce it, they would charge you for them to hold your files on their computer. You know, the idea that you can upload press-ready PDF files to Kindle Direct Publishing and they just sit there, and if someone buys the book, they print out one copy and drop ship it wherever, and then they pay you, and it costs you nothing, zero, for them to do that for you. Why wouldn't you do it? That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you do it? So back to work here. I got to resume giving everything you've got. Giving everything you've got. I don't want a comma there, Microsoft. For crying out loud. See, again, here. So he worked on them everywhere. So he worked on them. See, so he worked on them. Yeah, well, you can do it yourself and make your own poetry collection. And if you're, I hate to say it, but if you're selling poetry, that's what you're going to have to do. And frankly, if it's any good, you can actually sell a bunch of these, and you don't have to have them in boxes in your basement, because they can self-publish on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing platform. And as people buy them, they print them and send them out, and you get a check. That's pretty sexy if you ask me. It's nice how easy it is to get a proof from them. Yeah, because this proof copy, this book, the most, okay, this is funny. The most expensive thing about this book, just guess. The book itself cost $3.80. A fully produced, full color cover, black and white guts on nice white, decent white paper, not the best white paper, but not bad. And you can, it looks like a flippin' book. The book itself cost $3.80. The most costly thing about getting this book was the shipping, which was $5.99. And that's not for every book. That's just for this proof book. So, no, the outside cover was part of the whole book cost. So the outside cover and the guts was $3.80 to me, the author. The shipping of this single book cost $5.99. But when it actually sells, this will be primable on Amazon Prime. So if you've got friends who have Amazon Prime, they can buy the book. And this gets into the pricing aspect of it. I do a lot of speaking gigs, presentation gigs, and I always like to have the books with me so people can buy them if they want. I price this book at $20.95 because I want to be able to sell it at one of those events for a $20 bill. I don't want to make change. And typically, because this is a business book, people are getting it reimbursed, or their employer's buying it or something like that. It also goes into the economics of what I take out of the book in terms of profits or royalties. The reality is that a $20.95 book like this will sell $20.95 plus tax and shipping to whoever gets it. If they're doing Amazon Prime, shipping is free. The cost to me for that book to be shipped to someone is $0. However, out of the $20.95 for the book, Amazon's going to take a big chunk of that, like $10, $11. But I get a check for $8, $9 for a book. Stephen King doesn't get that deal for his books. Now, I'm not selling anywhere near as Stephen King, but still, how cool is that? If you can self-publish your own book, you can get the lion's share of the profit from that. Well, Amazon actually does, but still, I get a professional looking book that I can use to market my services to make me look really authoritative to all the people who hire me to give speaking gigs and presentations, and makes me better. I hate to say it. It makes me better than the vast majority of humankind who has never written a book. I mean, writing a book is kind of one of those level up unlocks that if you've written a book, people go, oh, he wrote a book? Well, guess what? Not only have I written a book, I've written 2 books. My first book, right there, Rutoma, the ROI of Social Media Top of Mind, was actually a co-written book with a colleague of mine. And same thing, I learned how to do this on that first book because I did everything for that book. Well, now this book is 100% mine. And I'm one of those guys who's like, I don't mind it being 100% mine. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and it is a global market because I've sold books in Australia, Germany, Britain, or the UK. I think Scotland's in there too. I think there might be some in Israel, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's who knows where. It's New Zealand. Yeah, and a bunch of other countries too. I mean, when in the history of humankind could I do that from where I live in Wisconsin, for crying out loud? I have access to a global market from my basement for free. Yeah, I'm not going to take advantage of that. Hell yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that. Back to work. Right. So he worked on them. So, comma, he worked on them. That would be a good comma. So, he worked on them. One of my favorite early warning detectors. Next sentence. This thing tick, that's me playing around with the spelling of TikTok or la la la. So I started day 1. And let's give him a comma. It's part of a transcript. All you got to do, add the accountability kick in the pants. Sentence. Lonely Hearts Club Band. No, you don't need a dash because the Beatles didn't need a dash. I'm not worthy. Next sentence. And again, I'm playing with grammar a little bit. So all my anxiety was a waste of time. Next sentence. High risk, high wire of YouTube. Yeah. Kids started playing the game. Remember, we kids started. Yeah, I don't know if I like that or not. Why am I embracing audio podcasting as my #1 style stage? Because I perform a lot more than the stuff I already do every single day. So while others are typing, I'm talking. Next sentence. 64. 100% of the time, say yes. Sentence. Neo's hit. Yeah, Neo's his name. The Beebs and Beebs. There's, and that's a name brand. What was a sleepy social media outpost? Next sentence. Thank you. Or You don't have to be a sycophant gushing over every post they do, but when you see something they've posted, LinkedIners, let's add. If it's someone who high fives me, it's sort of a romance. It's a video. Scott Galloway talking. Or been completely search engine optimized. A little something I call face to face. Which of the two techniques auto email PDF sentence? All right. I think I'm going to hang this up for the PM. Yeah, Word. I don't understand how Microsoft Word works, but I just know it's annoying. And I know it's annoyed me enough for tonight, so I'm going to give it a break because tomorrow I'm going to go through the printed book even more and continue to look for stuff that needs to be corrected and changed and edited and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But things are looking pretty good. I'm feeling good about it. Getting good response so far from the people I've sent out the book to blurb it. And so it's getting done. And it's going to be up on Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, available via Amazon in early January. In fact, I'm uploading the press-ready PDF files on Monday, or not on Monday, I don't know if it's a Monday, on January 1st, whatever day that is, January 1st of 2021. It's pretty exciting stuff, and I couldn't do it without people like you who are on my peer pressure posse, who are the ones keeping me coming down here to work on this thing, because I said I was going to do it, but I also knew I needed some accountability folks around to make me actually come down here. Because here's the thing, you can say all day long, I'm going to write a book. But when you go out there and you tell some people, I'm going to write a book, and those people start going, I'm going to watch you write that book, you go, I better come down here and work on the book. And so far it's worked. When I set out to write this book on Friday, March 6th of 2020, I did a little math, and I said, I'd like to have a 250-page book, and at 250 words per page-ish, there are going to be some images in there, on average. There are going to be some blank pages. I bet you that'll be around 7,500 words to 80,000 words. Did I say 7,500? Yeah, 75,000 words to 80,000 words. Well, guess what? This book that you see before you, or especially when I show it to you, this book, 6 by 9, 6 inches by 9 inches, is 252 pages and right around just under 80,000 words. And I knew that to get this done, starting in March, I was going to have to take one bite at the elephant, because writing a book is like eating an elephant. It's that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's what I've been doing every single night. And it's because of people like you who've kept me honest, kept me working on this book, that it's in the shape it's in, and it's only going to get better, because tomorrow, episode 290, meaning I only have 11 days left on this entire marathon of sprints. Every day has been a sprint, but it's part of a larger marathon. I'm so close to done. But as my wife and I remind each other, close to done isn't good enough. You got to go through the tape. So I'm running through the tape as fast as I can. And again, I thank you so much for helping me do this. I really appreciate it. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every single Monday, including tomorrow, where there's a brand new episode with my friend George B. Thomas, all about his incredible sharing of a secret that started a brand new career for himself in a really interesting, exciting, engaging way. So check out the Nonfiction Brand podcast wherever you get fine podcasts for free. And be sure to like it, subscribe it, refer it to other people, and most of all, if you could really do me a favor and you like it, give it a review, because that helps other people find it. That's it for me tonight. I will be back here tomorrow night, probably around the same time period, so definitely stop by and say hi. But until then, theme music. Take us on out. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.